Hey folks, this is part 2 of 2 with Christopher Plakut. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, what are you doing? Immediately stop this podcast recording and go back and find week 1 because it's amazing and it's his intro and you'll fall in love with him right there, just the way we already have. And for this part, you're going to get to hear all of the crazy stories of all of his customer service jobs because he's had a couple and he has a couple stories and they're all pretty awesome and hilarious. So let's get on with the show. All right, let's keep it moving. You want some more water?
Let's go.
You want a second? Okay.
I've moved on.
Okay, we're on Sprite now. Okay, here we go.
No, it's limonade. Okay, here we go.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We're back, and now it's time for the entrees. All right, Christopher, this is the speed round of questions. You feel free to tell stories. What was your first job ever where the government was taking taxes out of your money?
I was a muffin boy.
I'm sorry?
The town deli.
I'm so sorry. What?
I didn't have a muffin top. I was a muffin boy. Mm-hmm. Barbara Rakowski, to this day, called the town deli. The bread was so thick, the sandwich was so juicy. Somehow, I ended up, listen here, folks, a closed mouth never gets fed. A closed mouth never gets fed. So I was at 12 years old. They fill the basket with the Rice Krispie bars with the chocolate on top, and she cut them a little bit bigger and sell them for like $2,
Yes.
She goes, maybe sell this basket, maybe not. Bitch, I came out 2 hours later, and I had my whole basket already sold. $60. I mean, you know me, I went to my uncle's, I went to my aunt's, I was like, I was a muffin boy. That's what I call myself. And I literally, with a basket that was probably the size of Belle's from Beauty and the Beast, let's say when she was going to get water too. And it was probably about a good, about 30 things in there. And you ask anyone in Little Falls, they'll tell you. When Chris Plakut came around, and you know me, I was like, I wish my Make-A-Wish today was like someone would buy this last muffin. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of stuff, because, and I was cute back then too, you know what I'm saying? And I was a little chunky and whatever. But there's Teresa Bob's boy. I was 12 years old. And I was kind of I don't know if it's legit or not, you know what I'm saying? Because I was 12. But the point is, I was a hustler. You know what I mean?
You started in
being
sales.
I say raised on a farm, but really I wasn't. My uncle still owns the family farm, but I always say I was raised on a farm. So I always say I'm a farm boy from Minnesota. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
But I do know how to drive a tractor and bale hay and do all that good stuff, but we'll get there.
Ooh, baling hay is so scary.
So that's the very first job I've ever had. Oh,
okay.
Oh,
it can kill you. All right. How many customer service jobs have you had total?
Oh, 21 years I was a server and a bartender off and on. So 21 years off and on. So that goes to show that, because once my friend looked at me and said, once you make tips, you'll never go back type thing. It's like once you go back that night. But the thing is, I was always customer service because, listen, folks, even if you're a shitty server, you can still get like $3 extra.
Yeah.
If you're going to work a minimum wage job, well, I know everyone can't say blah, blah, but really, and you're good at it, I mean, a lot of money. But so 21 years off and on, I had probably 12 strong jobs in slinging hash somewhere.
Yeah, just at Universal City Walk, you had, 3 jobs? I mean, just in that area? Like, I remember seeing you because Johnny, well, anyway, we'll get there.
In Clearwater Beach, Florida, I worked at a beach diner.
Oh, you did?
Stick on your collar. You don't have to have. And there was on a set too, and we got 10-cent wing days on Saturdays. And I was a dessert boy. So all my job was, and then one day, this is kind of funny, everybody, but don't repeat the story. So, everyone knows what a whippet is, right? If you don't know what a whippet is, it's kind of like a cool thing that you take and it's like 6 seconds of flop. Well, as a dessert boy, I used to get cases of stuff back there. Well, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Well, sometimes the days got a little bit longer. Well, then one night I got a call from manager and she goes, Chris, we have a very serious situation. And I was just tip position because I was a dessert boy. I had to wait till someone ordered dessert and then, a dessert boy comes in and makes your dessert. And we're talking desserts the size of like a piñata. You know what I mean?
God.
Enough whipped cream to kill all of us. I hate whipped cream. But anyway, hate's a strong word. We strongly disagree. So that being said, I was a dessert boy. And then she goes, we have a serious problem here. And I said, what's that? She goes, whippets. I said, excuse me? I said, what's that? I said, from Minnesota, I thought sometimes I also took a Canadian $20 bill because no one told me that it wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like my boss goes to me, he's like, Chris, we don't take this money. I was like, I thought it was like Monopoly. They don't teach you that in school. And that's why I'm going to teach as a course that just has the basic reality shit. You know what I'm saying? Because someone knows how to put a chair together and you're like, where did you learn that? You know what I'm saying? And now I can have screws and like, I don't know. I'm coming back as a mechanic or a dentist because you always need one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, whippets, Chris, focus.
Oh, well, sorry. Oh God.
Whippets.
Back to the whippets. So she goes, a whippet. I said, what's that? She goes, well, we found 30 dead cans in the thing. I was like, that sounds quite excessive. Well, I did a good 28 of those. You know what I'm saying? I played off it to this day. I don't know what a whippet is.
Wink.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. And so then the beach side, then I got a job at Seafood and Sunsets at Julie's, which is like turning your grandma's house into a restaurant.
Ooh.
I do repeat, turning your grandma's. The menu said, listen here, you're here to have a good time and watch the sunset. So your food will get you when it gets there. You have a glass of wine, you basically shut the up and you just enjoy. And the most beautiful sunsets I mean, it's, and everything else that came crawling off that ocean. You really see what ocean's all about. You know what I'm saying? I got issues. You got them too. Share them out. I love that video, like your ocean. But so the Twister sisters, Seafood Sunset Julie's. Then we had the six pack, which also started my alcoholism because we went to a bar called the Shipwreck. You don't know about the Shipwreck unless you were local. Your shots of Jaeger were put in a chalice. My friend lost his two front teeth one night in a pool table. Not against anybody else. He blacked out and hit the pool table. We had to go pick up his teeth the next day in a bag. Oh, I could tell you a story. Yeah. And so every night we met, it was called the six pack. And that's how Seafood Sunset at Julie's. And that was fun. And then I became a manager at because she trusted me. She pulled in this yellow Porsche and she'd be like, Chris, I'm going to be gone for the weekend. I was like, and everyone's mad at me now. I'm the youngest one. I get the keys to the place, And the first time I ever tried unsweetened iced tea, I dumped it all out because I thought it was rotten. Coming from the Midwest, no one tells you, nobody warns you about unsweetened iced tea. Until I took a sip of it, I dumped out and gallons. And she comes and she's like, what the well, they dried out for days. No one told me that. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to a dry barreling iced tea contest. You know what I'm saying? Like, when's the last time so I walked in, she goes, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean? I go, this tastes like shit. And she's like, Chris, it's unsweetened. I was like, just like Velveeta's cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like a Miracle Whip's mayonnaise. Until you get out of, you know what I mean? You didn't know what meat tasted like well done because your mom was always like, well done, well done. Until you have a medium or a steak, you're like, this is meat. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
Okay.
Seafood Sunset Julie's. And then after that, Madden's Resort, 600 employees, 300 lived right on the grounds. I do repeat, 600 employees, 300. And then when the Europeans and Germans came over, ole, ole. I mean, that's when I learned, should we say, positions?
I was just about to say, how the fuck?
I mean, a German walking down the hallway and a white boy from Spermfish, you know what I'm saying? You're like, sweet, gentle Jesus lips. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a Berlin Wall right there. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even like that. It's just it's insane. You know what I mean? And, once again, I'm young and, I can't be quite, who I want to be, but yet get in here, Schlotsky, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So the European, and to this day, I'm friends with I call them my English Spice Girls. Melissa. And she just turned 40 and I sent her a video and it was really something magical because in that summer, I would go to work from 6:30 in the morning till 2 and my manager would come to me at 6:03 and have Visine and gum in his hand and goes, Chris, you need these now. I would literally get work from 6 in the morning till I ran the lobby cafe. Don't get it twisted. I was young then too. And I was pissed off at me again because for some reason I was weaseling my way in, but yet I wasn't an ass kisser to do it. But also, we can't be rainbows and sunshines, but yes, you can because no one's going to see me get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you all know in serving, here's the deal. People, and that's why I write my book. We'll get there too. It's not your server's fault. It's not your server's fault. I didn't seat you. I'm not cooking your burger. Gat. I don't refill it. I don't even know where they put it. What are you talking about? Oh, Bubba Gumps? What? You're at the Hard Rock. Planet Hollywood Cash? What? I'm supposed to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. People. Anyway.
People. Okay, so you lived on the grounds at that job, though?
For $4 a day. You ate 3 meals off the buffet. To this day, you guys, if anybody's listening and you're looking for a fun summer job and you're just young, dumb, and full of cum, go to Madden's Resort. Honestly, God, don't go to Cragen's. I'm sorry. Don't go to Grandview. Madden's is because they've been open for 57 years. It's like Dirty Dancing because the Schumachers come in. And if you make her eggs basted without the butter, you know what I'm saying? There might be a small frying pan thrown at you because that's how net they are there. But let me tell you what, you go to work and you get off work, you guys, you got to imagine 300 of us get off of the work count 3 and you can do whatever you want there on the grounds as long as the guests aren't using it. Shit, I learned how to golf. Maybe the second hole always, but then I'd be just drunk driving the golf cart. 9 of us one time on the golf cart. Dukes of Hazzard. Lops, she had hair like Mark Simpson's sister. 9 of us on a golf cart right in the lake, all blacked out. Just stories that we can, next morning we're all lined up. It's like when the fish spits out of someone's mouth, we're like, we don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? And so then we had cabins. And literally, my cabin was just a little square. You walk in, like a little bathroom, a little square. You're lucky if it flushed every 18 flushes. Oh. I had 60 people in my cabin. People are staying in the bathtub. Because when the English left and the Europeans left, it was like we had it was really something because you work those same amount of hours together, but yeah, you party together. And I get off work at 2:30, 6 Long Island teas because we called it the Gull Lake Shuffle. Robin's Nest and Kelly's and Taco Tuesday, and they got caught doing the rippies the wrong way with the razor blade. But anyway, but yeah, so it was called the Gull Lake Shuffle. So we had 2 drinks at every bar.
Oh my God.
And then did we go on the boat? Oh, the boat.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're just, you hear the stories of like, oh, it's the first time we ever drank, he fell off the back of the Schmert. And we're like, My God, we used to roll each other off that just for fun. You know what I'm saying? Like so I went back to manage for 4 years.
So then you and then somewhere along the way, then I guess Up with People probably interrupted your customer service because that is a version of.
Yep. And then I did all, and then you because you get accepted. It's quite a process from when you actually they say yes, because it really is all about open minds what they tell you. Because you're working 18-hour days, you still got to go to host family. And that Mormon host mom still wouldn't give me Mountain Dew at 11:57 at night because it'd be 3 minutes to midnight. I'm like, I will slam a fucking 6-pack right now and go to bed in 2 minutes. She still didn't give me the Mountain Dew. Anyway, nice family, but I was, oh my God, my roommate there. Anyway, because you're bringing up so many like great memories. But yeah, so that's when I moved on to Up with People.
Okay.
And that's when I thought I hung up the apron for good.
Little did you know.
Oh, well, you haven't had my talk show. I'm moving to Hollywood. What are you talking about? Christopher's going to move over, Alan, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Oh, my God, you know. And the thing is, like, when I went back out to my agency, he did say, he goes, you'd be so far in the business right now if it wasn't for your addiction. But the honesty was there.
Yeah.
And it's fair to say, I mean, I would do a couple shots because I think I was calming my nerves. Come to find out, it would counteract. So, you know, and I was drunker than I thought. And no, you're not going to smell it. You know, shit. Someone walks in the room 50 feet away from me, like, and it's not that like someone's getting sauteed mushroom, you know, not my business.
Yeah.
So
okay.
And then I got a job at the and then I came back and I've done a lot of random jobs. I used to scrape grease. You know those big fryers? You know when the big fryers that you like they like you cook like industrial like shit in. Well, I was a temp one day in our temp job. I had to go. I was buried, you guys. You could only see my ankles. And I scrub blubber and things off of like of this event that was, I swear to God, 1983 probably was the last time I saw it. Like anytime something and that blubber would come down, and I was like, and it's hot and it's sticky and it smells and there's flies. Then we lived by a big camp base, so my mom got me a job cleaning bunks. All Army men. Well, let's just say that was a fun summer, but you know, we're all children of God. But the thing is, some people just. It is what it is and ain't what it ain't. Period.
Period.
So I've had a run. I mean, I've done some. I was a babysitter since I was 9. You know what I mean? Like I've been there, done that because I feel like it just whenever I keep my hands at work, people are like, oh, Chris can do it. Chris can, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool. But then when I did that blubber thing, I was like, no. And I didn't go back the next day either because I was like, no. I sold 600 boxes of Girl Scout cookies for my cousin.
600?
600.
How?
Mind you, I probably ate 3 cases along the way because I swear to God, they get smaller through the years. Yep. Just like the bacon and cheese biscuit from McDonald's. I swear to God, that thing gets smaller every time you get it.
Yeah.
I swear to God. And not called small, they're called caramel delights. They're the size of a quarter. Yeah. It used to be a 50-cent piece. You know what I'm saying? So she gave me boxes. I came back once again the next day. I mean, Thin Mints. We were walking up Mall America. Get your cookies. Get your cookies. So yeah, when I lived in LA though, then I got a job at Antonio's Pizzeria, Hard Rock Cafe, and The Good Neighbor.
I forgot.
I was making, first of all, folks, Good Neighbor and Antonio's, both have been open for a good 40 to 50 years. They had a clientele that was stellar. You couldn't ask for a better bosses or situations there. I mean, Wayne Brady was to my left and Kathy Griffiths to my right at The Good Neighbor. And then Antonio, there's, not to be a name dropper because it is what it is. We all put our pants on the same way unless you're in a wheelchair and it's a little bit different, but we'll get there. So the thing is, but David Shatner walked in. I was like, Star Trek, you know? Did I ever tell you about the one time I ever got starstruck? Because I never got starstruck. So, you know, because I did the VIP parties there, not trying to hair flip everybody to the left and to the right now. Cool. So I'm walking up, I'm hungover, and I'm walking up to get sour cream. Remember the walking that used to be way up there and you got to walk? I walk up and I get to the top of the steps and I'm like, oh, because I'm trying to sour cream. I stop. I look up and I'm like, ooh. Every Horton and Brady from Days of Our Lives was standing in front of me. But not just one or two, not just Boho, Marlena, Celeste, Stefano. I actually went to Stefano. I went like this. I was like, you are, because I mean, to see, Deidre Hall, you know what I'm saying? And her little Converse little chucks because we did soap opera weekend and no one told me. And you know, you're not supposed to ask for autographs. I was like, Bo and Hope. Minnesota's flipping out right now that I'm even this close to you. I mean, you may just spit on me. You know what I'm saying? And I come back, oh yeah, oh, Bo and Hope are there. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Hope, come on now. She's the pillar of Days. Wow. So, but anyway.
That's so funny because I knew nobody you mentioned just now. That's so hilarious. That's such a niche. You know, they've been on TV forever.
I was like, is this a Horton and Brady Christmas special? I was like, oh my God. And I think I threw up in the fucking sour cream bucket in the fucking cooler before. So, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, those stories. What? Just like when I walked in the cooler. Well, anyway.
What? No, finish that. When you walked in the cooler?
Well, you know, I walked in the cooler one time and all of a sudden, you know, there's ass and elbows. And it's, you know, it's a deep freeze. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, God bless you. But if you've ever had sex in snow, let me tell you what, you do it once and it's cool. You're never going to do it again. No. You know what I'm saying? It's a little scratchy and itchy and you get the hypes there and whatever. But, well, let's just say there was no snow, but it was a very cold cooler. And there was ass and elbows, and someone's they're checking the meat temp. So put it that way, real good. And of course, me, little Daisy Duke comes skipping with my pigtails and be like, what? And I was like, beep, 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 beep. Next day they get fired. They blame me. I'm like, I had nothing to do with it. First of all, I never want to have that visual again because I'm a very visual person. One thing I am, people tell me, sorry, no pen. People tell me stuff about things and I'm like, you can't tell me that. You cannot because I will visualize that till the point, right? You know what I mean? So show me, great. Tell me, get. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
Get. Yes. And then Antonio's Pizzeria, I mean, you were insanely busy for like an hour and a half. Like you didn't even know your ass from your hole.
Yeah.
And yet the owner would come up to me and hand me $350 on a Tuesday from 4 to 8.
And you're like, okay.
I sometimes I'm like, I didn't deserve this. But then I look back, I'm like,
yeah,
give me a glass of Chianti. Because he or she had the big barrels of wine. Mm-hmm. But Mama, she,
mm-hmm.
if you have to slam a glass of Chianti on a quickie and then warm too, kids don't try that at home.
No.
Not, you know what I'm saying?
It's throw up.
But that's how sometimes I had to stop my own shakes.
Oh, really?
There's nothing embarrassing when you got an 8-top and you're like this with a salad plate. Like you're literally like, I couldn't, you know what I mean? In that Hard Rock, they taught you how to carry 9 or 10 plates on your arms. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah.
You'd have butterfly, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you got to the even table, guess what? People don't remember what they ordered. You just drop the plates down because you're carrying 17 hickory barbecue bacon cheeseburgers. What won't kill you makes you stronger.
Okay. What was your favorite job of all of your customer service jobs?
Being a bingo caller.
Really?
Being a bingo. They say if all jobs paid the same, what would you do, Chris? I said I would be a bingo caller at an old folks home. Under the eye, 22. Under the eye. You know what I mean? You got to add. I think there's pleasure in that. And the thing is, bingo. Nobody hates bingo. And if you do, no, don't even come talk to me. Sing the song. Get out of here because you walk away. I mean, no, bingo is first of all loved by everybody. Third of all, it stretches out your money. Second of all, it's a good time.
Yeah.
And so I would jazz it up, but I made a few tips. But I think my favorite job, Madden's was cool because of the fact that you had such a. I'm lucky to have all my jobs come as a family base in the long run. Mm-hmm. I still talk to people I worked with 20 years ago, and not just because who I was. That's what we were. That's what we became.
Sure.
And so favorite job. I don't. Oh, when I taught English in China.
I thought so.
Hair flip. But yeah, so I went over there because I was like, I got that. Was that before I went to China or after I went to China? I'm like, I didn't really say that to say that, but you kind of did. And so, so Fuzhou, China, I went, Indeed.com, folks. I always say I got to check my piece. My bestie goes, what? Indeed? I was like, shh. But anyway, Indeed.com got me last 3 jobs. So if you're looking for something, put those 3 words. And I put fun, creative, and gay friendly.
Wow.
And so every job that came up, I will not take a job that doesn't have the word fun in it. I will not take a job unless it has the word fun in it. I do repeat, folks. I will not take. I don't care if I'm an Easter bunny handing out eggs in a dumpster because you never know who you're handing your eggs to.
Hello.
Period.
Hello.
Facts. Big facts.
Big facts.
Say less. Yeah. Do you know the first time someone told me to say less, I snapped at him?
Really?
Like, don't you ever tell me to say less. I was like, what the? I mean, I snapped, and we're good friends to this day. So he goes, Chris, he goes like, say less, like I'm on my way, like type thing. I was like, okay, I'll forgive you this. You know what I mean? Like, because I went off. I was like, don't you ever tell me to say less. I have a lot more to say, blah, blah. But I didn't get the whole.
You didn't get the memo.
The metaphor.
Yeah.
No, that's not even a metaphor. Amazarwa's word been has had do does make my scan coach should will would. Yeah, so somehow, because my friend looked at me and said, once you make tips, and never. So off and on, I always went back to such a crutch of bullshit sometimes. But I always love my jobs. When you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like a job. Because there's times, I know the YMCA and I know blah, 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 meow, meow. But there was times, Pussy Lips and I and Beat Curtains, we'd be up at night. The gay pride that we did. Were you there for that year, Kate?
The year after I was with you.
First of all, we meet the same people every year,
Yeah.
on that upstairs of wherever we were. Mm-hmm. Didn't see them all year long, but yeah, we'd all meet and just have a gay old time.
So
no
fun.
pun intended. Just, oh my God, Kate, we did a couple of years there. Yeah, but amazing.
So much fun.
And that was pride. But pride's different, LA to Minnesota, Hay Wiggins to Ryan Seacrest in a Pharaoh suit. It's a little bit different. You know
it's
what I'm saying?
A little different.
People hanging from their nipples at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're lucky if you even see a nipple. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you walk in that cemetery, you're like,
oh, okay.
Oh, sweet. Gentle. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm not going to take one of those, but I will take a flashlight. Okay.
Okay. What was your, now when you say English or teaching English in China was your favorite job, why'd you only stay a year then?
I would tell anyone to go to China and you'll know after a year, it's time to scoots your boots. I don't say nothing bad about it. I just, they don't know what a holiday gas station is. They don't know what a convenience store is. They don't know how life can be. They go to school 6 days a week and 7 days a week is family day. So it's insane. And that structure. When I was in the police department there, because I, smile every now and then and wave, because I was the first one there for our company. So they had to come in, they had to do all this crazy stuff. And I'm not going to tell you that story because I'm just lucky. Anyway, but then you just, and your mindset is just, it's a little bit, it's not bad or good. It's just that you're so focused. I mean, I was teaching 3-year-olds. I thought they were 6. I would talk to a 6-year-old and they speak better English than my 30-year-old friends back home. And so it's just like,
it's a read.
So like, I mean,
come on.
But we're not going to mention Anastasia Beaverhausen. I swear to God, she says she's going to fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? Anastasia. Always my go-to. And if you ever read my books and there's 36 Anastasia Beaverhausen spelled 86 different ways, that's why.
That's why. Mm-hmm.
Trust me. You're still, if you know me and you'll know who I'm talking about. But teach it because I finally know what Dorothy felt like with the Wizard of Oz the day I left. And I turned around. I started with one school with 300 kids. I left 11 school with 2,400 kids. It was like doing 11 Zumba classes a day. I did 7.5 hours and 3 15s. And those kids, you walked in there, you were Big Bird. You were something different. And I used to rile those kids up. I used to walk in and go, because those kids are like, and they'd come up here and they'd literally smell you, they touch you, they poke you, and they would literally like crowd me to the point where I like shuffle like I had a big ball gown on. Like I could and the day I left, mind you, folks, when I got there, I'm like, where's all the Tom and the Sallys and the Boops and the Bops? And you see all these videos and they're like, no, Chris, you're the first teacher in 7 million Fuzhou, China for our program.
That's lonely.
As you see a moment of silence. Because, folks, I mean, unless you're looking for a number or you're hearing Taylor Swift every now and then, it's all in Chinese, folks. So, and then I had to get to schools. I had to do demos. So I'd be packed in a room the size of probably a Hard Rock bathroom, let's just say. The Hard Rock bathroom with 60 people in there.
No.
Because they bring their mom. And you can always tell when this kid, remember that one kid era thing happened? Mm-hmm. Well, now they're 25, 26. And you can tell the second you meet a 25 or 26-year-old, that's their only child. Their behavior completely.
How so?
It's crazy because they don't know how to share.
Wow.
They don't know because everything was given to them because they're the golden child. And especially if you're a boy, especially if you're a boy. And you know me. I mean, I made the best of it. I mean, I really did. I went to Hong Kong. I'd still be over there right now if my program would have went to Hong Kong. Hong Kong was off the chain. From the second I lied and said my visa took a little bit longer. There I was in the middle of Hong Kong, about to lose it. My boss was on the phone. He couldn't get a visa to get there. They're screaming at me. I'm in downtown at the embassy. I go outside. I'm like, really ready to pull my hair out? No shit. A turtle the size of a small dinner table that sits 4 crossed my path. And it's on my Instagram, folks, Christopher1010. You can see the turtle. And that was my metaphor because if this turtle can make it in the middle of Hong Kong, I was like, Chris, slow your roll. Because guess what? But because it's such a language that you just, it's crazy to grasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
if you say one word, there's 4 different tone or tongues to it. So you could be saying, salt and also donkey dick. You know what I'm saying? Like you just never know but the way the tone of the tongue go.
See, shout out to one of my favorite people, Elizabeth Mayer. Hello, I love you. She's one of my oldest friends and she learned Mandarin so fast. And there was one time we were on the phone when she was over there and she was like, hold on, Kate, I gotta handle something. She gets on the intercom, deals with a plumber, tells him all these specific things about how to get up into their apartment, then comes back to me. And I was like, bitch, are you a genius? Because that sounded like insane. She was like, oh, it's not that hard. But every other person I've spoken to has said, no, Mandarin is exactly what you said. Like you change your tone slightly and you've said a completely different word. And wow.
Well, and there's old school and new school too. Just like, how in every, but like, are you talking old Mandarin or are you talking new Mandarin? Bitch, you're lucky I'm even talking Mandarin. You know what I'm saying? And I thought Mandarin was an orange. I didn't know. Do you like a Mandarin? I was like, no, I'm all set. Thank you. Katniss, I was like, oh, are we talking about language or are we talking about bad lasagna and a fucking orange? Because I didn't know sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, I will get dropped in the middle of nowhere, know nothing, and make the best out of it. And it was those kids, I mean, when I left and I turned around and all those little hands were going like this, I finally know what Dorothy felt like from The Wizard of Oz when she said goodbye to her little munchkins. Because I call my tater tots. Aww. And when I say, I taught basic English like, I'm good, I'm sad, I'm happy. And then I became the most animated foreigner to ever hit Fuzhou, China. I like, people swipe me off I mean, this lady sent me a picture. She goes, is this you? It was me mid-air, above 3 feet off the air with my hands out like this. I go, where'd you get that picture from? Well, someone in the audience took a picture and sent it to these other people. He goes, my driver will pick you up at 7 p.m. His name was Fernando. And I'm like, I thought it was my Fernando from back home. I'm like, Fernando, get out of here. I hung up on him. Because I got a gym membership for more reasons than one. But anyway, I got a gym membership because I was like, well, we're going to do this. Chris is going to have a whole new world. You know what I mean? And I lived in a mall. I lived in a mall.
I remember that.
I was in the 8th floor. And so 4 layers below me was a mall and 4 layers above me was a mall. And let me tell you what, there's always something going on at the mall. And I'm super grateful for that. And then I became friends with the barbershop boys. They took me in, not a lick of English. And yet for 8 months, I cried when I left them. I locked my keys in my apartment wearing my boxers and a sweaty wife beater because I just came from the gym. I locked my keys inside of an apartment with the door that's as thick as we're talking thick. I was like, what do you do? My cell phone. I mean, I'm literally, because I was, the door shut and I was like, and I had 4 demos that day and I had to be to work at 2:30. Mind you, this 10:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
That's a whole nother story. I was like a mom that lost her kid in Target when I ran in that gym. I was like, because I knew, I think Alexa or something spoke English. Alexa, he's not here today. And this 18-year-old came out of the woodwork and he came up to me and goes, you need help? Because when you're 18, you got to take elective and you really don't know what to do. But the younger kids know, they're 25 and under. Well, I'd like to beg to differ that one too. As I'm going back behind the KFC sign to go, biscuits. And I still got the crunchy chicken. So I go to dinner there. I still walk to McDonald's and KFC by the time I got home and filled my backpack. You know what I'm saying? And I can't eat fish heads to this day. But anyway, I'm almost silent for that too because, like I said, it was an amazing experience. They're really good to me. I have nothing bad to say about it. But I always tell people, you go over there for a year. But I went to where the fairies were from. I met Dominique, Dominique, if you're listening, you're an amazing person. He took me 4 trains and 2 buses in like one little chugga. He goes, we're going to go where the fairies are from. And I was like, I'm going home, blah, blah. I went to a bamboo forest. And I went to the glass floors and the most beautiful waterfall I've ever seen in my life. I stood there for a minute. I bawled my eyes out. Because if you're not talking about a higher power right there, this is something that because I could have gone to Beijing and Shanghai and all that stuff, because you always can. You just know that you will. But he took me to places where no man goes. It was me and him. And I sat there in the waterfalls because I was like, come on. I was like, no, I need a minute. Because it was just, and the thing is, one guy came up to me and was like, you have a lot of deja vu here. Oh shit, you have a lot of deja vu there. Come find out the Chinese people don't even like the temples. I'm like, let's go to the temples. They're like, you don't go to that. What is it? Piece of tin sitting there? I was like, hey. But there's a lot of traditional stuff there though. Like you have to walk around. Like when you get there, if you don't walk to the right, it's just, not a shame thing, but half the time I didn't know what the hell's going on anyway. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So just like when the hot spring in Japan and, we're all naked and all the guys go in and 6-0, my boy. He comes with this like, when you get those Mickey Mouse little washcloths and you throw them in the water, you know what I'm saying? They expand.
Yeah.
They're still the size of a freaking Pop-Tart. You know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're like, cool. And also, and you're like, if, Mickey's ears even plugged in still or whatever. And so that he gives it to me. I go, what's this? He's like, it's for your naughty bits. Excuse me? Because this won't even fit one of my right or left nuts at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The most beautiful hot springs, though, you guys. Overlooking the mountain with it was gorgeous.
Japan is stunning. Yes.
So,
what was your least favorite of all of your jobs? I don't even know if you can answer this.
My least favorite? I wouldn't say a job. I would say humanity.
What does that mean?
Here's the deal, people. It's not your server's fault. It's not your server's fault. As a server, you guys don't realize, and to this day, if you go, Teed, God bless, but you guys, people do have bad days. I don't care who you are, what you are. And you know what? You never know. I trained thousands of people, you guys, for the Hard Rock Cafe. Thousands. The first thing I'd ask them, tell me 3 things about yourself I never guessed just by looking at you. Sometimes we'd be laughing hysterically, and sometimes we'd be bawling our eyes out. But we need to get that out of the way there, because now I kind of know where we're going. You know what I'm saying? And then they call me the whisper trainer or whatever, because I can't handle Sheila. Well, day 4, we're skipping out of there with $300 each in our pocket. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but different. But also it just humanity showed me that. I got to the end of my serving because I went to the Great Wolf Lodge, and I'm like, excuse me, I have to wear wolf ears at the age 40. You know what I'm saying? And if you say just kidding, and one person doesn't agree with it, you can get fired. I was like, I might as well just wrap my apron up now. You know what I'm saying? Because people, GM comes up, she's like, Chris, we love you, but not everyone understands you. You know what I'm saying? Because I had made a $600 mistake because life's too short to be a vegan, because I couldn't bite my tongue anymore. I could not bite my tongue anymore towards the end of my serve. Like, I like to think I handed up my apron for good. But you know what? You miss it in a weird way, psychology, because the everyday money and tomorrow I make $100. You made 55 cents. You know what I'm saying? But when I say I wore an apron, when the Girl Scout gets her sash, I got all my badges. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So my least favorite job, I don't want to say the job part of it. It was just there was one beach diner too in Florida. I'm nothing against Jewish people, but like if they had a coupon, if I didn't let the kitchen know, they got less mashed potatoes and meat. Well, God forbid if the coupon was on it, they didn't whip it out yet. So he'd come back, he's like, "Who the coop?" I was like, "Give him a quarter." I will buy you more mashed potatoes. And they're instant too, by the way. But yeah, so I worked there for like a hot minute, but it wasn't bad. It was just that, because here's the deal. I always will find the greater good in something. You know what I mean? You can be a shitty, you can do a lot, but you know what? But don't always mistake my kindness for weakness either. That being said, because like, I'll listen to you, blah, blah, but listen, can't bullshit a bullshit, can't joke a joker, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to restaurant business. Have you had 2 years nonstop, fast-paced, moving down? I worked at Subway. Okay, let's start again now. You had 2 years, because all of a sudden there goes a tray of milks. Where do we pick up a milk from? I thought, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just tell, like that, but also humanity as a people, because like two things you never want to do is be when your flight's running late, be that stewardess, or when you're server, when you got to go see a movie in 15 minutes, but Well Done Burger takes 17 minutes on that grill, Hard Rock style. You know what I'm saying? And walking in and just being like, can we get that to go? Or people, if you ever snapped at me, I would stop everything I was doing and be like, excuse me, I know that someone's being rude. Like I got to the point, the lady's like, I found a hair in my salad. And she's like, it's round and curly. I'm like, is it a pubic hair? You know what I'm saying? Like it was like that. My training's like, you can say that. I was like, no, sweetie. I said, you can't say that, but I can because it's the way you say it. And then 2 minutes later, all of a sudden we're in the back, and all of a sudden manager cracks. You did not just ask that lady. I said, she was fine about it until you went over there. Because a lot of times managers, they tell them not to go to my table, so they would drag, are you sure everything's okay? Are you sure? And you know what I mean? Honey, they told you the first time. I had the whole table rolling.
Yeah.
Just like when I ran the glass door. I better get you a shot of vodka. And you thought I said, let's kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? He ran the glass door. It's hysterical. And I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. I will laugh at first, but I'll help you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I have to laugh because I'm like,
that's life.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
A job. I did a job. I think I did.
No, you're good.
I did work as a dietary aide.
Ooh.
At an old folks home.
Was that tough? Oh, that would be so sad.
I know. And then they didn't put a nose on her one day. And I was like, Alma doesn't have her nose. And have you ever seen someone without their nose? Like, let me tell you what it looks like. Okay, we're not going to go down that road right now.
Let's
But anyway,
not. No.
Stephen King. Anyway, so she didn't put on her nose one day. But then one day, she always put her hands at the last second of the door because we had like a barn door, like half in and half out. And I just happened to say one day, I was like, Alma, if you don't get your hands out of here, I'm going to smash. I said, the door's going to smash you in the face. Well, I didn't know that they were having an LPN or RPN or whatever nurse thing, a whole group of them. So the next day, who gets called in the office? Because I said I'd slam a window in her face. No. I said, well, you guys took her out there without her nose on. Did she ask for that? Because it looks like two slits to the clit. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like a little slot machine. Like it's weird. I was like, she does not deserve that. You know what I'm saying? No.
We're moving on. What's the weirdest thing you've been asked to do whilst on the clock?
I don't know if I can legally answer that.
Okay, we can skip it.
I know what I always say, the job I can talk about, the job I can never talk about, or I'll get chased out of the woods with, to the beast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so many Beauty and the Beast references on this podcast tonight.
I will say, one night I did meet a woman at a bar. Oh God, this is kind of, yeah. And I did wait on them, but the woman I started talking, I said, you know that I'm, and we're going to leave the story at a certain point, but, and she goes, yeah, but she goes, wait till you see my husband. So they had a little list what they wanted to get done. And let me just tell you what, I skipped out of the Garden Hilton or whatever it was downtown Minneapolis that night because, she goes, wait till you see my husband. And wait till I saw his husband. I was like, sweet, gentle Jesus lips, get over here. You know what I'm saying? You can eat crackers in this bed. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say, you can go make it bed, but if you, not even one saltine, not even one Ritz, I swear to God, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't handle it. But Ricky Martin, he can gnaw on a fucking case of Costco fucking Ritz. I don't give a shit in my bed. But, so he had a little list for me to do. And let's just say, it's rude not to finish the grocery list.
Yeah, you got to do that.
It wasn't nothing bad, you guys. I don't want you guys to think like, oh my God, I was tied up and we're taking peanut butter between each other's toes or anything like that.
Which some people are into, which wouldn't be bad. Like, whatever you're into.
As long as it's Skippy and honey, we're good.
Yeah.
We don't need, I hate nuts and like nuts and ground. Anyway, yeah. But so that was kind of the weirdest thing. But also a guy one time wanted to pay me $50 to touch my teeth because he didn't believe I had real teeth.
Did you let him?
He turned around his fingers on I go, get that dirty sausage out of my, because folks, I was a bartender at a sports bar. Not just a sports bar, you guys. I was a bartender at the busiest. When this opened up on City Walk.
It was crazy.
It was the first one on the West Coast to get a bar. Well, she was smart. She put me behind that bar. I would have people call and reserve, like, how you get you get a wedding, you're like, oh my God, who's sitting next to who? Whose cousin's who? That's what they wanted me to do there because the Universal people used to get off and all come to my bar.
Yeah.
And when that Lakers fans yelled, and I yelled, you know what I mean? I turned on the radio because Lakers and Raider fans are pretty tough. But the thing is, I just, and you know how small that bar was.
Yep.
Anyway, folks, I had about 22 bar seats, 5 cocktail tables, and making drinks for the well.
Yeah, you were all over the place.
Oh, and if someone ordered the dugout, Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? You have to go grab the ice cream and then
Blenders.
And servers, listen, if you win in a drink, you do not come stand by the printer right afterwards. It takes you a second. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good bartender, you'll get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love when people just stand there and be like,
oh God, it would drive me nuts.
I know there's many things.
Yeah.
And so I would say, I just said, when I say humanity, it just got to the point where I knew I had to, one day this lady didn't get her apple juice. She went by 6 times. So what I did? I brought her a case of apple juice from the back and slapped it on the table. Yes. I slapped, and I said, and she goes, I used to do what you do. I said, well, apparently you forgot. I slapped that whole and my manager was talking at the table. I went like this. Mott's apple juice, you guys. It was a case of apple juice. I got it from the back, freezing. It was still steaming. I went up to the table. I was like, boof. And I said, oh, how many times I walked by? Let me guess, 6 or 8, was it you said? Well, here's the whole case. Well, you didn't have to do all that. I said, well, you didn't have to do all this. I said, you have no idea what my day is like. And that's why I was like, because there's a couple times I walked her, I was like, you know what I'm saying? But also, I was being honest.
Yeah.
And that's one good thing, you know what I mean? Like I said, through everything, be honest.
That's
people
right.
want to feel, hey, what's your favorite thing on the menu? Do you like this? Oh, no, I don't. Good, because listen to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why, I always ask my server, what's your favorite thing on the menu? They might say freaking livers and onions. Well, guess what? If that's what's fresh and good, go with it. They work there. We don't. And tip your servers, folks. Cheap people freak me out.
Well, that's a separate thing.
A guy I got a Long Island tea one day. I didn't bring back his 27 cents. So guess what I did every time? He brought up the first 3 times. The whole duration of the table, every time I walked by, I went in the back and said, everyone give me your quarters and 2 pennies. I walked by. How was everything over here? Good? I dropped 27 cents on the table. Because he made such a fucking stink about it that I was going to make sure. And finally he grabbed me by the arm. He goes, this is really enough. Oh, is it? Because I dropped 17 more rounds off. And I said, have a great day, everybody. Can I use it round up or round down, folks? And guess what? $1, you guys tip your extra bus or $1. You're like, oh, the extra $1. Yeah. Give them the fucking $1. They work hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not all, but some, because some things you're like, you get your little, and I'm like, round up or round down.
Well, apart from what you've said, what's an incident? Were there other incidents that would make them want to speak to your manager for something that happened whilst you were working?
I had a lot of one time a lady told me, she was, I could be eating a piece of cardboard right now as long as he was my server. And to me, that was the biggest compliment I've ever received.
Yeah.
She was eating a veggie burger, I'm not going to lie. But the thing was you know what I mean? I usually got, oh my God. And then that lady with the vegan, the whole family came into the Great Wolf Lodge and they were 30 of them. I was the bartender the night before, so I got 25 of them well lit. And they loved me because, I pour them like a drink. I'm used to. And so, and then they come in the next day and I was trying to work with this woman, no butter. Do you want grass? If she just would have said she's a vegan. So we finally get down to she's a vegan. And by the way, what happened to nut allergies? Moved over by the gluten-free. Guess what also comes gluten-free? Middle fingers up. Middle fingers up. Anyway, and I'll say it to my tables too. That was another thing I'd say because it was a cool table. But I can tell you, there's stories because I'm always curious too. So sometimes, I end up in situations or fun things or just, but always good things, Mm-hmm. The tortillas are cold and the table's wobbly. I was a service. You know what I'm saying? But you also learn about humanity too because, we're all one. And I will never forget when I had a chocolate table, a 4, delicious. Wrote on a napkin one day and slipped an extra 10 there and said, thank you so much for being so kind to my family.
Wow.
And I picked that up and I will never forget that moment because I said, it wasn't awakening for me. It was just that I didn't treat people fairly because of past behaviors. And I don't want to say it's a stereotype. It's just that sometimes I think there's a secret little hidden book in aisle 13 at Walmart that nobody knows about unless you read this book. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can't eat 3/4 of your burger and tell me that wasn't well done. You know what I mean? And you're going to try playing with me. You know what I mean? Anyway, and I'm not just saying it as a whole. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It could be my mom. It could be my sister. She's horrible. My sister goes, every time she does something wrong, we take $1 off the tip.
Jesus.
Well, she farted one day at the table. And she took $2 off. I said, well, that wasn't her fault. She had to pass gas. You know what I'm saying? Not that gas. You know what I'm saying? But and then I love when you crop dust too at a good table. Oh, anyway, yep. There's many stories because at Hard Rock, you're such yourself that I kind of let that, I let go. But people, the thing is, you always want to make people feel at home.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. But sometimes, I had ladies feed up, showing me their petties, their manis. I had, dad, I said, I'm your husband's nightmare dressed as a daydream. You know what I'm saying? A couple from Canada, I kept staring at me. I was like,
hello.
Nice to meet you. Where you been? I can show you. Incredible. Because the roller coaster goes right over your head as you're joining.
All right. What's the last straw that got you out of the lodge job? Because every other job seems to have had a natural end. Were you just like, fuck this lodge job, I'm out?
Since day one, Great Wolf Lodge did not know where to put me. Here's the deal with me. And I don't always have to have the last word. But I will say, like my manager goes, Chris, you will shut up a room of 30 and walk out with all in 6 seconds. And no one, and then it's not a good or bad thing. It's just that sometimes, I get in trouble, sometimes I don't. But the Great Wolf Lodge never knew where to put me to start. And so after my year and a half there, they're like, goodbye, Chris. We love you. Know what I'm saying? Because they said you could not decorate your uniform besides your ears. So what did I do? I took my ears to another level. I got the Madonna's cone boobs things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I put them as rainbows on top of my thing. I got called in the office. It's a little much. Well, you said I could decorate anything. You know what I mean? But it wasn't much though. And so everyone was there kind of like the Laura Ingalls in life. And I was like the, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of Laura Ingalls, great. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. But guess what?
That wasn't you.
But I met some really cool people there too, actually. I met some amazing, but it was a short run I had there. And I'm still, we had a good crew there. I made $300 for serving orange juice on a Thursday day.
Jesus Christ.
Coffee, apple juice, orange juice, and milk. We had a buffet. First time I ever worked at a buffet because I was like, people don't tip on a buffet. These people did. Oh, and we don't give high fives. We give paws. Excuse me?
Christopher Plakut. No grown ass adults are giving each other paws. No.
Oh no, I was in orientation literally like this. I was like, how fast can I get out of this checkered wearing picnic table thing I have on that's too tight anyway? That's like a sun-dried tomato salmon farted on me. And of course, I'm a sweater. I was born sweating. So the pits, people are like, you're sweating. I was like, no shit.
I'm working.
It's called hard work. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
But anyway, salmon sun-dried tomato shirt. But anyway, still too tight on me. But no, so I think then Dinosaur Adventure popped in.
Okay.
Welcome to. That's why I got that job. And I skipped another day. I was like, bye. And I still keep in touch and I still go there and I still have breakfast every now and then because it is a great company.
Yeah.
It's just that at 40 years old, I'm not wearing wolf ears.
Have you ever told a customer to fuck off?
Oh, absolutely.
How? Tell me the story.
Absolutely. More bartending.
Oh, sure.
More bartending, but kind of in a joking, but no, there's been times I'm like, no, I'm serious. Here's the deal. Remember in Gay Man Happy and Shake Man Carpet, that type of thing, you know what I'm saying? But it can be the wrong person.
Yeah.
Once again, folks, Gay Man Happy and Shake Man Carpet. So those kind of days, but when a man or a woman can say like, the F word I hate, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or they can say something like, oh, that's so gay. It can be the wrong person just to say it the wrong way. And I could give a shit less, but I'll drop dead face and be like, talking my straight voice and be like, hey, what's up? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta be gay, right? You know, because the contents they use it in.
Sure.
So there's a couple times like, fuck you. No, fuck, you know what I mean? And sometimes, because the Hard Rock Salute was a fuck you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it wasn't about like always just, being fuck you. It was like, we had arms around each other, giving the middle fingers, crying our eyes out.
Yeah.
But no, there's a couple times though that, because a couple times it got mumbled under my breath and I got pulled in the office. Because Chris gets pulled in the office, I'll fight my battles. Oh, what am I getting written up for? Hold on, let me write that down. What am I getting written up for? Why am I talking to my lawyers? And I'll be back to sign this on Monday. Poof.
Where'd it go?
There was never a write-up.
It's so weird.
Never write-up.
Just disappeared.
Never write-up. No.
How many?
And my grandma died 7 times, by the way.
I bet.
I'm kidding.
I bet. Died and resurrected.
I had a grandma. You know what I'm saying? She's like, come back and say hello every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Like, every
Not
job
your fault.
I didn't have one.
At some
I
point.
went from coast to coast. They're not going to, check my references. Sure you didn't.
I bet you didn't. How many bodily fluids have been on your person whilst you were on the clock? Have you ever been barfed on, peed on?
D, all the above.
Really?
I haven't been jizzed on before.
At work?
Well, Kate.
Okay.
You know
All right. Uh-huh.
We're not all Laura Ingalls.
All right. Well, tell me.
Yeah, because, here's the deal sometimes. You know what I mean? You get a sneaky Pete that, even throws me off guard. And, here's the deal, though. I'm not going to, if there's 2 stalls, I'm not going to get all crazy with you. But, things happen sometimes. And sometimes make sure you take off your uniform before you go party. Shit.
No way.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What about the barfing, though? Did that happen like when someone was overserved or something?
As a bartender, once you see someone eat a hamburger mangled, you'll never forget that. You'll never forget that, just that disgusting, like you never want to see that again. And then when it comes back up on you, because he asked for a glass of water, and here's the deal, folks. I'm a farm boy from Minnesota, but if I put my hand in anyone's used ketchup, I will lose. To this day, ketchup should be when they had a ketchup shortage, I was like, see ya, bye. People put it on their eggs. I'm not knocking you. I just can't watch you. They're running enough, folks. And ketchup is like there's a lot of sugar in there too, by the way,
yeah,
folks.
there is. Yummy.
And people in restaurants drown ketchup. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I got to the end, I'm like, you need a side of ranch? How'd you know? Because you can smell it. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where it wasn't, and Kate, I never wrote anything down if it was under 20.
I know you didn't. That's crazy.
Remember? And I could go look at their face. I'd be like, oh, club chicken sandwich, add avocado, no bacon. But because I could go look at their face.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, but I also want my memory because, I did a few things in my day. So I just want to make sure the brain's still ticking.
That's good. Keeps it popping.
If it's Sunday. Yeah.
Do you tip?
I tip?
Do you tip?
I tip ridiculously.
How much? I know
I
you
always
do.
say I have a big tip for you too. You know what I'm saying? I just used it yesterday. I was like, don't you worry. And I said, I got a great big tip. And they go, you do? I was like, sweetie. I tip ridiculous because I know. But also, I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm just a bitch. No, honey, you're just a bitch. So if I recognize that, do you know what I'm saying? Like that type of, you know what I mean? People are like, I'm Virgo, so that means, no, you're just a bitch. You know, like there's no, so if you come to me like that, and I give my service quite a bit, but I know it's like, I've been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever, any situation you find me, I was just a server. A lot of times they throw me out there to go take care of it too sometimes. You're just like, well, here goes the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So.
Do you ever not tip?
Oh, that's a good question. No, because I'll even leave you $1 even if you're scandalous.
Really?
And I'll leave it to you in change too, because that's just
it's
a double
real
slap in the
asshole
face.
move.
It all spends the same, bitch. You just had $95 at my bar, and you're going to leave me $3 in change. Granted, if you have laundry, but you know what? No, that's just disrespectful. I think in so many levels. Because once you realize your worth, you don't settle for change. You know what I'm saying? But like that type of thing. But also like, come on now. Yeah. And I knew one time I grabbed 3 kids at my table at the Hard Rock Cafe. I said, come on, guys. They each had $5 to the name. You can get a side of broccoli for $4.25.
That's right. That's right.
I go, come on, we're going on a field trip. I took their menus. I put them back. I locked them right in the middle of the food court there. I said, guys, your $5 will get you so much more and give you so much more happiness than what I ever can here. I said, I can get you guys waters and a free lemonade and whatever you want, but you're going to get a side of broccoli. And remember that side of broccoli? You're lucky if you saw 3 kernels on that plate and that half moon dish of the butter dripping. Yeah. And there's always an issue too. There's always who has the broccoli? But they had the little $5. So I was like, follow me.
Did you really? And you took them up there?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, they went and ate at Johnny, whatever that thing was, the chili.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of chili thing. Yeah, because that food court up there, that was an STD waiting to happen too. But, it's like to people up there. Because listen, honesty, folks.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was a little too honest. And that's when I knew I had to hang up the apron, which I hope I did because serving is entertaining. I don't give a shit what you say because you're putting on this, some people can shut off and turn it up. But I also believe there's a reality to it too and there's a realness to it. And people can smell that too. But also when you're waiting tables at the busiest place, almost walked on earth, it's crazy. Remember the Rose Bowl?
Yeah. 500
band people walking out, salmon and burger. We had, and we're washing the silverware for the next group that's literally walking through the door.
Yeah.
And you guys are seating normal guests too. At that point, like.
It was too much.
And by the way, you rock the whole stand, Kate, by the way.
Yo, I love you. Thank you. It's the only position I worked there.
To this day, I'm like, hail all Kate. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how hairy it got, no matter how bad the balls didn't get jingled or the car went rotated on the bar or Birdie would lose it or, you know what I'm saying? You always kept that. You never let anyone see you lose it.
Thanks, Boo. Yeah, well, I only lasted 6 months, so maybe if I would have been there longer, I would have lost
Yeah, but look at the impact you made on a lot of people there in 6 months.
I love you. Thanks, Boo.
I walked away with a beautiful friend in 6 months.
That's right, I sure did. So, I'm looking at him. Have you ever been stiffed?
By a man or?
Okay.
Yes, I have. And I did. Yes, I did. If I saw them again, I would ask them. Or I sometimes go hand back their change to them if the bill's above on the 37 cents on the table. And I got to the point where I tend to not, because sometimes I just do it to fuck with people, and sometimes I just do it to be like, was there something wrong today? Did you guys feel like, I'm just curious because I feel like, you know what I mean? And, well, no, why? And I'm like, well, no, the pence that was on the table, I just realized that, the pence that was on the table doesn't feed Tiny Tim at night. We're busting our ass out here. And they're like, oh, what do you mean? Oh, I thought Charlie was going to tip you. I thought, Charlie, didn't you get the $2? No. He didn't. And Charlie's over there already at the candy machine, eating a fucking Twix or whatever. And I'm like, they thought they told each other to make sure they leave it on tip. No, you didn't think I was going to come find you, did you?
That's what they actually thought.
So, and a stiff to be stiff is like a huge slap in the face for me.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? You could leave me $1. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's Benjamin or whatever, but I also got, I've been tipped up to a nice amount of money before.
Yeah. And
all the servers, give it to Chris. I got a couple that would tip me $100 every time they came in. They could have $30 worth of food or they could have 40. Or then one time I got a $500 tip.
Well, we're going to get there. Wait, don't talk. Okay, I'm going to ask you. No, that's okay. I'm going to get more into that in a second. Just in this section, last question for this section. Worst customer you've ever dealt with, or the archetype of someone that would be the worst customer if you can't think of a specific story.
When they say Karens, there's Karens in the world with that, bob haircut. And the second they walk in, you know what I mean? Yep. They got God bless them. You know, they got the hush pups on from, you know, whatever. But yes, there is truth because I wouldn't say one specific thing, but there's also that lady that just comes after you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Ugh.
Or, you know, don't move. He's a homosexual. He might bite. You know what I'm saying? The couple from, you know what I mean? Or just heinousness of like, you know, and the thing is, listen, I mean, because I always say I give the respect that people give me. You know what I'm saying? So like, in my GM, listen, I don't have to say hi to you, but you have to say hi to me because you're my GM. You know, whatever. But worst customer, God, there's always a couple in every job. There's a couple that haunt you too, that, you know, that will leave you. The apple juice lady, you know, for example. But then I've had to prove my point because she's just, I asked him 6 times. You guys, the apple juice, you know, the size of your thumb. If that was, you know, but also people, I love when they look at me and they go, we're on servers too. In 1923, because apparently you forgot, like, you see I'm out of my head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at Hard Rock Cafe, they used to slam me. They used to see if we could put me in the weeds. They used to have contests. Lydia used to see, they sat me 13 tables at one time.
At once?
Yeah. I had 8 inside and I had 4 on the patio.
That's so
and
gross.
And we're, of all 4 tops, and we're talking, I mean, and no food on no bus because you know the day shifts. You either made it or you didn't during the day shift.
That's
unreal. And Jenny
unreal.
Vaviro, light bright and almost right wherever you are, honey. You literally to this day taught me how to serve anyone and anything. She goes, your cousins over there are pissing me off. I was like, my cousins are here because I was in LA. I was all excited. She goes, no, your cousins. I was like, what do you mean my cousins? They're all a table of white people. You know what I'm saying? But I was always like, my cousins are here. You know, you're in LA. That's when you see a grandma's toenail and you're excited. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just that little bit of homesick.
Sure.
You know? But worst customers, but I've also stuck up for a lot of people that had bad customers. You know what I'm saying?
And what
don't
way?
You talk to our waitstaff like that because I don't think I'd let myself get to that level of like that heinousness. But you know, people want a free meal, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, they are. Boy, they sure are. Well, folks, we're going on to the good stuff. We hope you saved room for dessert. All right, Christopher, what was the nicest thing a customer has done for you whilst you were working?
Gave me their kidney.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. No, they really didn't.
Oh, I was like, oh my God. I was so excited. I did not.
Let me see the parts that weren't all that pretty. And every touch you takes the But listen, do you guys know, just for a fun fact here, real quick, off the cuff,
yeah.
Do you know that a liver comes in 40-60, right? A 40-60. And let's say a donor gives you 40% or 60% of the liver. Guess how long that piece takes to grow back in the donor's body?
How long?
Just take a gander guess.
A year.
2 weeks.
What?
I even clicked the pen for that one.
Yeah, you did?
2 weeks. My mom goes, you mean 2 months? Because we're at the Mayo Clinic. This is not coming from like, the Mayo Clinic, if those of you who don't know, it's better than a jar of mayonnaise. It's one of the biggest clinics that, you know what I mean? Like, you have to wait 6 months just to get in, whatever. And yeah, because I was on the list for a liver transplant at one point.
Wow.
Because I had to prove that I want that liver. We had to go classes and you know what I mean? So, 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy.
It's more pain for the donor than it is. Bless all the donors out there too, because there's people that still need it. But yeah.
Well, what was the actual nicest thing that a customer has done for you?
Slept with me? No, I'm kidding. And I'm trying to think of
pity sex with me.
Well, when you're connected to a hotel, the Great Wolf Lodge, I mean, sometimes my ears end up in different places.
Those controversial ears.
Well, those controversial ears. And the one day I slept on the floor, I'm like, I woke up and like, Chris, and I was like, I see people with wolf ears on. I don't know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I got to get dragged to the back. There's a big dramatic. I'm like, I better go home for the day.
I must leave.
I've had customers go as far as, sending the Christmas cards or, one day I got $100 in the mail.
In the mail?
$100 in the mail. Mm-hmm. Long story short, someone's father had passed, and he left us some money, and he goes, "I want you to give these to the good people in the world that deserve this." I got $100 out of the mail one day, nice note and everything. I, me, mascara down on my knees because one thing about me, I'm super thankful and super grateful, and I'm very empathetic and very sympathetic, and so, but I always can't agree because I don't know what it's like sometimes to go down that,
Sure.
But I mean, I'll about with the next year, I cried during Beaches for God's sakes. That's your go-to. But I want to start a new movie called Bitches. Beaches, get it instead of Bitches,
Get it.
and have me and Biscuit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
First generation, not Country Mouse, City Mouse. It's perfect. But anyway, called Bitches. Anyway, but you know what? I'll be Bette Midler because I ain't going
Obviously.
anywhere.
Of course.
He can be the Barbara Hershey. Whatever happened to her? But anyway, back to nice people. So I got Christmas cards. I've got, people that have left me stuff before, like, keep shining people. Because you're only waiting on these people for, let's say, 3 breakfasts in a row. And yet they leave you a card at the end of those 3 days thanking you for who you are and what you are. You know what I'm saying? I think that speaks volumes, and I took pride in what I did. And so people actually, I oh my God, my soap opera lady, she'd come back every year.
Bless her.
fingernails out to here. And then she came back with an oxygen tank on, and I'm still friends with her son because she has now passed. But God, 12 years ago, I met these people. I passed out a few times with a few tips because I'm like, I wish I could eat tonight. I don't know where I'm going to go. And I don't know, I'd be bartending, and I mean, people would throw that money at me when I start going, because I usually don't play that card, but I'm like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. Nothing. Passive aggressive mother for 30 years. But anyway, nothing. I'm good. Blah, blah, what's going on? Well, I just wish I could eat tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I get a little bit of a guilt trip, but yet it worked. The second you put that neck brace on, what's going on over here? I mean, you turn like, what's going on? Oh, sweetie, what happened? Oh, I can't talk about it right now. It worked on the contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would go into shit that you wouldn't even believe. Like, people be, that's why Nicole looked at me. She goes, what the fuck did he just say? And I was like, well, it was a little bit of fabricated. You know what I'm saying? It was never my fault either. It's never your fault, folks. It's never your fault until, you know what I mean? Just remember that. It's never your fault. I ended up in a handicap. Oh, no, we're not going to go
No, we're not. We're definitely not.
I didn't know.
We're not.
Mexican ended up in that.
Stop it.
Do, you know what I'm saying?
Christopher.
That's all America on the first floor.
Christopher, move on. Best tip you've ever gotten. Was it the $500? That's pretty good.
13 inches.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay. Well, it's 3 hands plus the, anyway. So best tip I ever got was probably 500.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Where was that? Do you remember?
I think it was each job every time,
oh,
wasn't it? No.
Oh, boy.
I think it was closer. Yeah, like, but I was always get that one tip or, something like it'd be cool. The bill came 246 and they round up to 5.
Hell yeah.
But it depends where you're waiting tables though too. I mean, like I said, Antonio's, a family of 4 come in that's been coming for 30 years, they tip you $50.
Jesus.
Oh my God, that's right. A neighbor, they come in $13 meals and they leave you 100.
Wow.
So it was random. But also, it came at times though when you just needed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone was looking out for you. Like I always say the $100 angel because sometimes, well, you know how it goes. Are you going to take off a shift? Well, I'll make $150 tomorrow. The rain hits. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's nature, but that's another thing with serving those everyday tips.
That's what's hard about leaving it. Yeah, is getting that fast cash. That's really hard.
And guess what? If it's cash on the table, we know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way you have to claim that.
A lot of people, yeah.
There's no way anyone's ever going to come back to you and say, and Godspeed, I did claim my tips. I'm just saying though, where there's a will, there's always a grace. But there's also a Jack and Karen. So
what's an example of, or can you think of a story about the best customer you've ever interacted with?
Heidi Klum.
Really?
The nicest. She took her own plates back. And I said, hey, you can't come back here? She goes, yeah, I can. Because it all started when I woke up. They go, Chris, we have some code word that I used to get. And I when I asked a question, I just come in. And I walked up the stairs and all of a sudden, there she is with her purse stripped. She's like, darling, which way are the toilets? Is there Victoria Beckham standing at the top of the stairs? And I was like, my first question, I go, is David here? And she goes, no, he's playing with Galaxy, darling. It was Boa Roman's birthday, which he still has 2 of my pins to this day, the 4-year-old at that time, because they wanted to all watch the movie, and then they came underground. So I met all the Spice Girls, and I met, that's when Gwen was with Gavin. Heidi Klum was there without, super cute kids without Seal. And Heidi Klum actually took her plates and walked all the way back, scraped them, put her Diet Coke, she's back there, upstairs, in the little half-ass kitchen we used to have up there. Yeah. She's like, if you got a French fry out every 2 minutes, you know what I'm saying? So there she was, scraping plates, like, hey, you can't. And she was, oh, no, she's the nicest person. That always struck me because but that much, everything. Yeah. Everything. Like Vanna White, she's got the best job in the world. She flips letters for a living, looks good. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does not want to be Vanna White? But, that's when I come back as Vanna White. But,
you do.
So yeah, and the next customers, soccer moms love me.
Do they?
You know what I'm saying? I'd say, but like, oh my God. I will lay right in the breast. I'll be like, oh my God, you're son, you're rad. You know what I'm saying? So for some reason, even my producer right now to this day goes, soccer moms love Chris. You know what I'm saying? Because they keep their kids happy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I know how to like my friend Morgan said, she's watching me behind stage. She goes, I don't know how you do it, Chris. She goes, you were just talking about fisting someone 48 seconds ago. And then you walk on stage and you're working with a plethora of audience because I know you know your audience. You want to turn it on and turn it off.
Sure.
And yet, you know what I mean? And she's like, but you we're just, you turn around, but that's what it's, you just got to know your audience.
Yeah. So, what's the best lesson that you have personally learned from working in customer service?
It's not your server's fault. And humanity. Just be good, folks. You know what I mean? Like, just be good people. You know what I mean? You see, there's such shitty things going on in the world. And you chose to go out to lunch. And granted, I know I've experienced, like, when I was doing that wedding and the tray got unbalanced and it flipped and all over the wedding dress and all the, you know what I mean? They're pissed, but of course, you know what I'm saying? Shit happens.
Wait, you spilled on a wedding dress?
So I was training a girl and we were carrying, she worked in a restaurant for 2 years, nonstop, fast paced, blah, 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 blah. we're doing a tray thing. I held onto the tray. Well, she took all the drinks and the tray flipped because of the balance.
Yeah.
Anytime you see a server carrying a tray with two hands and shaking, and they have two milks on the tray,
take them
come
out.
on now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, especially at Hard Rock, no one knows where the fucking milk comes from. I don't care if it's your day 17 or if that could be the last final question. You won't pass the test because where does the milk come from? Because somebody usually grabs it for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like if you forgot your side plates on the table, 17 people come up to you. Hey, you forgot your side. I got it. I got it the first 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is good, you know?
Yeah.
And always underline everything. But also, it goes back to always leave people better off than what you found them.
Yeah.
I didn't care if you came to Hard Rock for a glass. I didn't care if you came for a shirt. All I know is when you left my table, when you rolled around and when you went to bed, fucking Chris. You know what I'm saying? Or when I went to business meetings, I had my business card with pins on it. So I went to downtown Minneapolis because I did PR work for them. I would have, when I met someone, they would pick up their favorite pin. And then I would pin my business card with my pin, which they picked out. But guess what? When they're going through the pocket that night, pulling out everyone else's business cards, guess what? A pin was connected and you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff.
Smart.
So
that's really good. Yeah. What's one piece of advice? I mean, you've sort of touched on this, but this is our last question for this section. So if you can think of something, what is one piece of advice that you would give to customers who interact with customer service workers?
Know your allergies.
Hello. Okay.
The second I hear allergies, my ears go up faster. You can say like, you know, then fuck me hard, but like, they go up. And if you don't know what celiac is, and you tell me you're gluten free, we're gonna have words.
Yep.
We're gonna have words because I'm sorry, celiac. I didn't say Cecilia. We're not celiac. Oh, what's that? This isn't Dr. Atkins, folks. This is not Dr. Atkins. You're about to have a heart attack because you ate too much bacon. I get that, but no. When you're gluten free, because my bestie Nicole, pretty much she can eat a chicken breast and guacamole on a good day. She's no chicken, no and she'll, you know. And so going out to her with the last 7 years, like she's like, watch this. She's like, does your so-and-so have milk in it? And the server will look right at her and go, no, it doesn't. She goes, you're lying. You know what I mean? Because she would know because she knows what you know your allergies, folks. And if you say the word allergy at my table, I'll take it serious till I don't.
Sure.
Because, you know, I've seen the fish allergy there. I mean, if it even hit a spoon to a shellfish, I mean, I worked at Manager's Resort, it was 5-star, you know. A lady blew up one night because the spoon touched, you know, shellfish and the EpiPen, you know what I mean? I just think know your allergies. And don't come to my bar and say that I should know what gluten-free vodkas I have because you should know when you sit down at my bar, Stoli has it or blah, blah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another thing people don't realize also. We're human. Yeah. We're human beings. But I also was a counselor. When you're a bartender, you're a counselor, you're everything, you know? But the best thing I say is know your allergies because that's not nothing to mess around with. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to go out to eat and chance it, you know, peanut allergy is pretty serious, you know what I'm saying? So, but know your allergies, period. And don't be cheap, you know?
Yes. Well, is there anything else you want this audience to know, whether it's about customer service or your journey or anything else you think people need to know about Chris Starr for Plakut?
Well, you know me. I was just talking to my friend yesterday. I was like, power of positivity, because I think I'm going to start teaching a class. Because listen, our ships are going forward, folks. If you have anchors, let them go. Let them go. I know there's a couple dragging that sand and that chain's a little bit longer, blah, blah. But guess what, folks? Your power of positivity ship needs to keep moving forward. No one walks backwards. You can look at the past. You just can't stare. You know, like no one walks like, you know, backwards because guess what? It's done already. And I think the important thing is, if I'm going to talk to people like in the 4th grade, you're 30. So we're going to go that far back. Let it go, folks. Let it go. She couldn't have said it better than Frozen. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Frozen 2? I want to call it Unthawed. Anyway, I just wanted them all those bitches to melt. But anyway, and bring back my girls. RuPaul's so good right now. But anyway, good for RuPaul too. But RuPaul. The thing is, I just, folks, you are your own captain to your ship. And I know that they say, I can't love anybody until you love yourself. It's true. Mm-hmm. It is true. And you guys, everything happens for reasons. So whether you're in an avalanche and you meet someone that's new and you blah, blah, you had that experience together, and every example, whether it's good or bad, will teach you something, period. And yeah, I was the bad example a lot, but I was also the good example a lot. And you're served what you deserved. I'm kidding. No, but karma's real. And let me tell you what, you guys, I learned that the hard way too. There's a few things that I used to make fun of cankles until I couldn't put a size 13 sock over my toes. So, and I never said anything. They still look a little weird, like a little tree stump, but that's not the point. The point is, yeah. So, and I just think, you know, be good. Okay. Be good or be good at it is what I always leave you with.
That's right.
Be good or be good. I always say be great at it.
Okay.
So,
well, you mentioned you're working on a book. Is that something you want to talk about?
3 of them to be exact.
3 books?
The first one's called 3 books. They're kind of like a beautiful mind thrown up because I met a writer one time. He said, throw up on paper. He goes, because the second you start double guessing yourself, the thought's not going to come out completely, or your emotion or your feeling, you know what I mean? And one thing with me is when I'm a writer, I'm a relatable writer, meaning that I will have you smell. I don't want 3D, I want 4D. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good or bad, gross or whatever, you know, the needle going into your skin, I get that last poke, you know what I mean? Like when I write, but right now it's like a beautiful mind. So I got My Shoes Could Talk. It's a hot feet. That's A. B, members of a gay shot. You know, I had the scattered like this and blah, blah, you know what I mean? Sally Jess Raphael wig and, you know what I mean? Glasses going everywhere. And the third one is Not Your Server's Fault.
So will that be a book about customer service, that third one?
There's 3.5 actually, because the half one can't get written until some people have left to the next level. Because Mother Teresa, I love you so much, but you know what I'm saying? Like, by the way, Mother Teresa's name is Teresa Agnes. My mother's name is Teresa Agnes, and Mother Teresa's real name is Agnes Teresa. Oh, that has nothing to do with it. But anyway, the best, most rewarding role that I've ever played as a human being was Scooby-Doo.
Really?
The Traveling Fun Show. Right? Were you Reggie? Oh, yeah. I played Scooby-Doo, and let me tell you what, because those kids, I mean, I was a fan of Scooby. If you're not a fan of Scooby, I mean, we'll still be friends every other Thursday, but Scooby was a shit. You had the lunchbox, you had the cake, you know what I mean? But when I played Scooby, I mean, there the four of them sat, and they just, I mean, it was amazing. So I don't know where that just popped out, but yeah, we did the whole Scooby-Doo and costumes and...
Well, how can people get in touch with you, Christopher? How do they see the baby dinos? Where are you going to be next? Like, people are going to...
Oh, by the way, everybody, too, Grease is the word. Sorry, not to cut you off, but Grease is the word, you guys. To this day, I had a Grease Team 30th party. Don't get it twisted. You know, Kate.
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah,
oh, my God. And if you not come in middle of January, dressed up, you're...
Get out. Get out.
Lisa Curry, remember I made out with Lisa Curry that night, or kissed her, or whatever. We have the pictures like... Oh, my God, that's so random. But anyway, good times, Lisa. I hope you're well. You can get a hold of me. First of all, like I said, addiction, entertainment, just fun. You know, someone said, Chris, you're an FWB NSA. Meaning though, but I mean, I am, and I will be, I love people. But if you want to get a hold of me, find me, or you know where to find me, because now my house resides in Minnesota. Because after 16 years of being gone, home is where the heart is. But also, I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram. The other two I can't talk. Okay. But also right now, Dinosaur Adventure is Carnivore Chris. So if you come visit, every minute is a complete adventure. We're dying to meet you, MAAT. So go on, actually, the website, dinosauradventure.com, not just Dinosaur Adventure. Do you know how many retakes I had to do with that? Dinosauradventure.com for all your information. And so they'll tell you the city. And then we're opening back up again after COVID, and I'll have my stage back. And every hour there's a new stage, a new show on my stage.
And your handle on IG is at CHRISTARPHER. Wait, I missed an O. It's Chris Star for 1010, right?
Big C, little HR, little HRI, big S, big T, big A, big R, star, and then fur. Like just like you're gonna end it, but little P, little H, little E, little R. And then it's either 1010 or just 10, or because my lucky number is 10 for a while there. Yeah.
Well, folks, we're going to drop your checks now. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to help us out here at Service from Hell, we'd love to have you subscribe, rate, and or review the show wherever you listen. It will help us reach more people that need to be schooled on the art of being kind and will be catharsis for those of us still working in the industry. If you want to get in touch with us here at Service from Hell directly, send us your receipts at servicefromhellpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. You can also get all of our bonus content and find out more about us and see videos, etc. at patreon.com/The Kate Gaffney. Remember, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to go out. So don't be garbage and be good to people. It's easier that way. Thanks, everybody. And Chris, this was unbelievable.
Should I get a gay man for what you just said? Can I get a gay man? Honey. And then RuPaul comes out with the angels behind you, like you know what I mean? The gospel part of like, just give me your, you know what I'm saying? Miss Yellow. Anyway, Kate, thank you so much.
I love you.
First of all, I'm honored to even talk to you for this much. I love you.
I love you.
Seriously, you touch my heart in ways that an ODAT.
I love you so much. Well, thanks, folks, for listening. Good night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.